Hello everyone. A big problem we often see today is our tendency to set up false dichotomies and run toward extremes. Oftentimes, what's really needed is a balanced approach. Not everything's meant to be an either or. Some things should be a both and. Peanut butter, jelly, peanut butter and jelly, right? Okay, so the example I know. Maybe a more practical example is how we should live and speak as Christians. God has called us to both grace and truth. Unfortunately, oftentimes we see Christians that weaponize truth. They're just crushing people over the head with it. It's the Ben Shapiro line, "My facts don't care about your feelings." It seems as though they care more about proving themselves right than the people that they're speaking truth to. Well, on the other side of things, unfortunately, we often see Christians that compromise and water down the truth, and they say they do this in the name of grace. But that's actually a distortion of what real grace is. See, they don't want to offend, they don't want to exclude anybody, and they just kind of want to go along with the flow of culture. The thing is, grace and truth are not mutually exclusive. And as always, Jesus is our example to follow. I want to read just one verse today. It's John 1:14. And I actually have this sign here. I don't know if my finger's at the right place. But my wife made this sign for me. I have it proudly displayed in my office here. The Word became flesh. John 1:14 is one of my favorite verses. So I'd like to read that to you. "And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. And we have seen his glory, glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth." John 1:14 speaks of the incarnation of Jesus Christ. Jesus is the Word become flesh. Jesus is truly God. He is divine. John 1:1. "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." Jesus is truly God. But the Word became flesh. Jesus is also truly human, a person just like you and me. See, Jesus is not either this one or this side of things. He's both and. He is truly God and also truly human at the same time. John 1:14 says about Jesus that he's also full of grace and truth. It's not one or the other, it's both and. Jesus always communicated the whole truth from a place of complete grace. Jesus never compromised. He never watered down truth to try to appease people or soften his message. But when Jesus spoke the truth, he was always extending grace and love for the people that he was speaking to. Jesus showed us that we can and should live lives and speak with full grace and full truth. So that's my challenge for you today. I want to think about how you live your life and how you communicate to the people around you, to your friends, to your neighbors. Do you communicate, do you live out both grace and truth? You don't have to choose between one or the other. Jesus calls us to. Jesus gives us the example to follow, to be filled with both grace and truth. I hope that's an encouragement and a challenge to you. God bless.